What is going on, everybody? It is episode 934 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, would you please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and unfortunately, we don't have a Tate Tuesday today. We're going to have a Tate Wednesday
Doesn't
tomorrow.
have quite the same ring.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, but that's fine. I prefer it this way, actually.
There you go.
We have an incredibly important poll question for you today. It says a lot about who you are, actually, as a person. It says something about your personality.
This is the trap that society has placed you in, where you're supposed to place large-scale meaning on questions like this. This is the teen vogueification of our society.
Guys, what does your favorite Disney princess and Panera Pick 2 combo say about your MBTI personality type?
Oh, wow. French onion soup. Wow.
Today's episode of Pop Culture Crisis is sponsored by Cast Brew, specifically Mary's Ghost Blend, which you are meant to enjoy sitting around the campfire. It's s'mores flavored, hence the poll question today. When you are sitting around the campfire and you have your marshmallows at the ready, are you the type of person that warms the marshmallow until it's soft inside and then eats it that way? Or are you the type of person that sets it on fire and then lets this char form on the outside, and then you blow out the fire, and that's how you eat it? So it's like crunchy on the outside.
Yes. And here's the thing, guys. I know that we've been doing this show together too long, because I asked Mary which one she does, and she said I set it on fire, and I said, yeah. In my head, I'm like, yeah, that checks out. And then she said, which one do you do? And I said, I don't start it on fire. She goes, yeah. And she's like, yeah, that makes sense.
I knew it. Like, I just knew you were a warm the marshmallow guy.
Which sounds vaguely erotic, and I'm not gonna.
It does not. It really doesn't.
So let us know
it just says
in the
everything.
chat.
And I will say, I wasn't.
What does it say? I want you to tell me, what is the societal significance for a person that decides to warm the marshmallow? Are they just too cautious?
I think you all know what it means.
Okay.
Like, everyone in the chat knows that Mary is a set the marshmallow on fire person. Everyone in the chat knows that Brett is a warm the marshmallow person. I don't know why, but you can just tell. Maybe it's like... It speaks to...
I just don't take enough risks, guys. That's what she's saying.
Maybe like the risks that you take. I used to be a warm the marshmallow person. That's not who I am now, but
yes. She's been pushed to the brink, ladies and gentlemen.
I was afraid of setting the marshmallow on fire because, I was afraid of the fire. I have childhood trauma from going to hibachi restaurants. I was scared of the fire. Okay. But eventually I grew out of that, and I realized, like, you need the brulee on the marshmallow to add this extra. It's sort of a two texture item there. It's like crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. Perfect.
Okay. Somebody should write some type of think piece on this. Like, here's the thing. Somebody on X is going to write like a 5-paragraph essay on what these things mean, and it's going to be well written enough for you to actually believe it. That's the problem with society these days. Hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Do answer the poll. We will try and remember to end that at the end of the episode.
We need like some sort of dissident right political version of BuzzFeed where they have like multiple choice polls or like quizzes or whatever.
Only
that are
Milo
like,
could write this.
Yeah, where it's like asking you, like based on your favorite topography, like what race is your child or something. You know what I mean? Like it needs to have something like that.
Get on it, guys. If you really want to attract Gen Z, this is what you're going to...
Can someone make the political right dissident version of BuzzFeed for me? That would kind of be the full circle moment that we need.
Do it, guys. All right. So hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you haven't subscribed here yet already. Remember to share the content out with everybody that you know, that you love, that you hate. Everybody. The more people that you share the show and the segments with, the faster our channel can grow. So thank you so much for that. What are we talking about today? We got a bunch of stuff to get into. I guess the big story is that Elliot Page is back on the press junket again because they're starting to ramp up promo for Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey. So we're going to get into that a little bit. We're also going to talk about Tangled, which is looking to do its live action movie. It was actually, they put the kibosh on it a while back with the failure of Snow White, but they have since resurrected the project from the grave and are doing the absolute disservice, apparently, by casting a white chick as Rapunzel.
They saved the movie from the fate of Ophelia.
They did. So they're gonna they wrote an article. Articles have been written about how they're planning to cast a white woman to play a white character, which is a big deal in the year 2025. So we're gonna talk about that. Also, I saw Mary posted this thing the other day about Pixar, about how they were saying that white people cannot understand the movie Turning Red because it's against their lived experience. They couldn't understand it.
It's an inherently non-white experience.
Yes.
To
so
get your period? Is that what the movie was about? Getting your period?
Well, from what I saw, they said that white people can't understand generational trauma. So yeah.
Okay.
We got that.
I mean, I guess I don't want to be somebody who understands generational trauma. Like, that would be nice. One of the many privileges of being white.
I mean, I think that everybody who, whines about generational trauma just wants to pass the buck on everybody else. Anyways, but we got that. Plus, I'm going to make my pitch for a 2020.
They're looking at me.
Yeah. And I'm going to make my pitch this year for a 2028 Alec Baldwin presidential run. That's what I want to pitch to everybody here.
I don't know if our country can withstand
We can do it.
I don't know if we're at that point.
We got everything to talk about today. If you're ready, we can go. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
Guys, Alec Baldwin has now hit a new low. We talk a lot about celebrities crashing out on this show, but he quite literally did. He crashed out into a tree and then blamed the tree.
A big fat tree.
It was the tree's fault, actually. The Hamptons police have now weighed in on the incident. He was driving around in his wife Ilaria's Range Rover in the Hamptons with his brother, Stephen Baldwin, and he got really spooked by a huge garbage truck. He said,
the size of a whale. I'm sorry. Okay, so guys, he sounds like Trump. If the left is looking for their Joe Rogan, they at the very least have remember, he's the one who plays Trump on Saturday Night Live, or at least he used to. He's got a wife nobody can understand. He's from New York. He's got all the makings of a left Trump. I'm telling you right now, Baldwin Fetterman 2028. One shot to save America.
The major difference between Alec Baldwin and Donald Trump is that Alec Baldwin is a long-housed beta male.
Well, yeah, that, and he's killed somebody.
Runs his shit. His wife has him on a leash.
And he killed somebody.
And also he's allegedly a murderer.
Allegedly, I'm sorry. He was not partially responsible. He was there apparently when I don't even know what you're legally allowed. A gun in his hand went off and killed somebody.
A gun was fired. It happened to be in his hand, and there is no relation between his finger and the trigger being moved.
I think he said that he didn't do it. I think he said he didn't do it. He didn't pull the trigger. It's like he didn't hit the tree. The tree hit him.
It was magic.
Yes.
Just like the Rust shooting, he was in the car, but it happened to collide with a tree, and it was the tree's fault. Here was the official statement from the East Hampton Town Police Department Chief, Michael Sarlo. A white 2023 Range Rover, operated by Alec Baldwin, with passenger Stephen Baldwin, was found to have struck a tree. It was found to have struck a tree. That's the most deceptive, passive language.
He didn't hit a tree.
It was the car was found to have struck a tree on the eastbound shoulder of the roadway while avoiding the turning action of a 2020 Mack commercial truck registered to National Waste Services out of Bayshore, New York. There were no injuries reported or summons issued, and the contributing factors to the accident were found to be a reaction to an uninvolved vehicle and the slippery and wet roadway conditions. So it wasn't Alec Baldwin's fault. It was the road's fault. It was the tree's fault. It was probably the whale-sized garbage truck's fault as well. And he, for some reason, took to his Instagram to give a statement on what happened, and he just looks absolutely dead inside. He's also staring at the floor the entire time. And this is the funniest part. Alec Baldwin doesn't replace the battery in his freaking smoke alarm.
Let's listen.
I didn't know he would be playing into those stereotypes. But
let's listen to this video.
Number of names. But this morning I was in this car accident. Guy cut me off in a truck. Big garbage truck. I mean, a garbage truck the size of a whale. I've never seen a garbage truck. It must have been something commercial for like taking away material from construction.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm assuming that he's got the front-facing camera on because it looks like his wedding ring is on the opposite hand. Right. Nobody who has the front-facing camera on, who can actually see what they look like, should have this much headroom when they work in Hollywood.
It's crazy.
That's crazy work.
It was the biggest garbage truck I've ever seen. Anyway, I won't go into the details now and bore you, but to avoid hitting him, I hit a tree. I hit a big fat tree and crushed my wife's car. I crushed my wife's car. I feel bad about that, but it's all fine, and I'm fine, and my brother's fine, and blah, blah, blah. Congratulations to everybody on the film festival. Thank you to the East Hampton Police Department, the town police department, for coming to my aid. They came in and we filed a report with them. Officer Gherkin is his name, Gerken.
What is the relevance of that, bro?
Why is he telling us any of this?
Lovely guy.
like, bro. I want to hear more about the truck that just came out of nowhere. I don't want to hear about the spelling of Gherkin's name.
And there was another gentleman there. I didn't get his name, but Officer Gherkin from the East Hampton Police Department. As nice as.
Wait, is it possible that somebody put this in there? Is this
this was in the Instagram video.
Okay.
I checked.
Pleasant as can be about the whole thing, and my wife's car is pretty smashed up. Big tree, big fat tree.
He's Trump. It's exactly something Trump.
I see why they chose him.
I'm going to LA to see my family. Can't wait. Going out to California to gather my family together, spend a few days out there, and then come home. And I'm still so proud of my wife.
What does that have to do with anything?
Oh yeah, I love you more than anything, and I'm very proud of you.
I think he's just scared of what she's going to say because he destroyed the car. Yeah. He's going to get, you know what it is? She's going to pull him by the ear. That's why he's touching his ear. He's like, don't pull me by the ear, please.
He's literally like Hassan Piker's dog. She has a shock collar on.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, why do we need to know any of this? And then I looked at his Instagram. He has the comments limited. So it's only people saying oh, thank God you're okay. You're my hero.
Yeah.
That's a weird shout out to his wife at the end there.
I'm telling you, because it was her car and he's terrified that she's going to be pissed.
It's not like they're hurting for money. They can buy another fleet of Range Rovers if they want to.
Yeah. How about an update on whether your brother's okay? Who was in the car with you?
He says that they're both okay. They're fine. Ilaria, however, is not fine. She got kicked off of Dancing with the Stars recently, and she claims that they bullied her off of the show.
I did get bullied.
She did the longest millennial pause I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's from an Instagram live.
That's an IG, or that's a boomer pause.
Off the show. I did. That is for sure. That is for sure.
Why is she whispering?
I don't know.
This is really disturbing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you right now, he needs to run for office.
So I don't know if she's saying it's rigged or what, but you get voted off of that show.
Yeah.
That's how it works. You got voted off of the show. That's not bullying. This is the thing. Alec Baldwin and Ilaria Baldwin are perfect together because they just are the type of couple that, first of all, call each other babe, which everyone knows is a red flag. But second of all, they both think they're the ultimate victims and that the world is set against them. It's us against the world, babe.
Yeah.
That's them as a couple, condensed into one sentence. So I think they're kind of a match made in hell.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them first of all, for him to run for office because the gun control debate would be hilarious. And I really do think that he needs to run with Fetterman. I really do. I think
you don't legitimately think he would have a chance.
I legitimately believe that he hadn't, if the thing hadn't happened with Helena Hutchins, again, I don't even know what I'm allowed to, because, he was acquitted in court.
Yes.
So I don't even know what I can legally say. And that's it. But if that hadn't happened, yeah, I do believe that he could have been their own version of, look, Gavin Newsom is trying to pretend to be Trump on X right now. Apparently that's where politics has gone, is that the way to do it is to be bombastic and over the top. And what is it? They would always say, like, gone are the days of like respectability in politics. They showed like the picture of Obama and Mitt Romney after the debate in 2012. They're like, literally the last time politics felt like it was for grown-ups. And the top comment just says, "You were calling Mitt Romney Hitler then too." The most inoffensive politician that the right had. But I'm telling you right now, we got to go with Baldwin, Fetterman, 2028. One shot to save America, and he can just cosplay as his character from 30 Rock the whole time.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I love
God, America.
Donaghy. Were they really calling Mitt Romney Hitler back then?
The best way to point out like the way the Overton window has switched is that back in, whether it's Mitt Romney or even in the Bush era, the far left was doing that, but it wasn't necessarily co-signed by the ones who were part of like the party proper. Now the main party goes along with calling every Republican Hitler.
But back in 2012, it was like the fringe that was saying that stuff.
Probably less so than it was in 2004 and 2000. They were still doing it, but it was not as co-signed by the main, at least from what I understand. Like, I've seen those pictures. I've seen those people at the rallies and stuff like that. And it wasn't as mainstream as it is now because the Overton window has shifted so much. But that's why they need their own Donald Trump. They need their own populist hero. Rich Hollywood pop culture icon with a wife nobody can understand when she talks.
Back then, I was more focused on My American Girl dolls and like learning fractions.
Yeah.
But I believe you.
Yeah.
I think if it weren't for the Rust shooting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it hadn't been for that. It would be
a possibility.
I mean, that is like things you don't want to be. You don't want to be like in front of Alec Baldwin with a gun, in front of Alec Baldwin with a car, or one of his family members when he leaves you a voicemail.
We have a
that
20
coming up would also.
From Shane H. Wilder. Looking at the video from the truck that Newsmax released, it looks like Baldwin was trying to illegally pass the truck on the shoulder at a high rate of speed when the truck was moving into the shoulder to pick up trash.
Yep.
Okay, so it was his fault.
Yep.
And he's just an idiot.
All right.
Nothing new. We have not learned any new information here.
All right.
Speaking of another Hollywood power couple in both Hollywood and politics, actually, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are an item now, reportedly. They were seen smooching and canoodling on her yacht in Santa Barbara recently. And everyone lost their minds for multiple reasons. First of all, why is he shirtless and wearing his jeans with the belt on the yacht? This is a weird fit for Justin Trudeau. Do you have the picture there? It's pretty low res, but you can tell he's shirtless, but he's wearing his jeans on the yacht. And they're embracing. So she's probably taking a break from the tour to go on a romantic tryst with Justin Trudeau. They were first spotted together, I remember, just a handful of months ago at a restaurant in Montreal.
That wasn't even months ago. Wasn't that just a couple weeks ago? Or am I like...
It was a little bit further back than that. Reportedly, Justin Trudeau has been pursuing Katy Perry for months now, at least since July, following her split from Orlando Bloom, her baby daddy. I guess they were never married.
Yeah.
Maybe they were engaged. I don't remember.
Like they were together for a long time.
They'd been together for like 8 years. They have a daughter together, but they never got married. And Justin Trudeau is just a couple years off of his divorce. Allegedly, his wife set an ultimatum for him. You're either going to keep me and not, run again for prime minister, or you're going to choose politics over your family. And allegedly he chose to continue his run for prime minister instead of staying married.
Well, they didn't put family first then.
Yeah. There was a clip from a recent Katy Perry concert where a fan of hers goes up on stage and mock proposes to her. Yeah. And she hints to the crowd that he should have asked 48 hours earlier because she's taken now.
Yeah, would have worked out better for you.
I'm sorry, what?
I heard you were single.
You heard I was single. Okay, that's interesting.
Is this like in between like her doing the lightsaber battle?
She needs a breather.
Yeah.
Katy Perry, will you marry me?
I mean, a ring might have been better than like a sign.
Right.
I couldn't read that high up. Are you kidding me? Not today.
She's kind of scaring me.
Yeah.
You really should have asked me about 48 hours ago. on a few dates first. All right. What's your name, mate?
Darren.
Darren, and you're a single guy.
I am.
Where are you
Well,
from?
that's kind of goes without saying.
Hampshire.
Hampshire, everyone! Darren, the single guy from Hampshire.
I thought it was Neil McDonough at first.
Looks similar.
What qualities you look for in a mate?
Beautiful voice. Beautiful face. Lovely eyes. Intelligence. A good story. A good partner. A good lover.
Oh my God, let's go far away from that man. Oh my God, dear Dan, I can't believe I brought you on stage. This is real freaky. No, you can stay. You can stay. There's nothing wrong with you. It's me. It's me.
She gave him
Stay
the
right
"it's
there.
not you, it's me."
Dude, that's the diabolical one. You never want to get hit with that one.
So she was hinting to the crowd there that she's currently in a relationship. And reportedly from Daily Mail, Katie and Justin Trudeau are enamored with each other. An inside source said Katie is very, very interested in him. She says he's a real catch, a high quality guy. She keeps a lot of details to herself, but clearly likes him a lot, although she's going to be on tour until December this year. They met up just to hang out instead of a romantic get-together in Montreal. But after the date and Trudeau's surprise appearance in the audience of her show just 2 days later, they kept in touch. They're so busy and in different cities, so they aren't physically together.
What does
But
he
if there's
do now?
anyone worth having a long-distance relationship with, it's him. She likes him a lot. He
he's
likes
not-
her a lot.
It's Mark Carney now, right? He's not prime minister
Right.
anymore. What the hell is he doing with his time? Book tour?
Rebound.
Okay.
Post-divorce, midlife crisis, rebound. That's the stage that they're both at in life. And a lot of people think that even though they're both incredibly annoying and cringe, they're perfect for each other for that exact reason.
Could be a recipe for like real longevity.
I'm unironically obsessed with this. The two cringiest, hottest people you know macking it up on a yacht. Somehow both of them are punching above their weight class. Another reply
Wait,
said,
how is that even possible?
One of them pretended to be an astronaut. One of them pretended to be a prime minister. They share a love of cultural appropriation. Both of them. They have a long
her
history.
because of what was that video for Dark Horse?
Yeah.
And him
Yeah.
for, blackface.
Actually, many occasions.
Yes.
For both of them. We have a 20 from Robert Delera. Great news, Katy Perry is dating Justin Trudeau. We can finally get rid of her. Maybe we can get Kim Jong-un to start dating Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah. I mean, I'd kind of stand that relationship.
Yeah.
I think that would be iconic.
Good
Canadians
for
are pissed,
America.
though.
I mean, well, no, because like, what was it? Like Dennis Rodman was like the special envoy to North Korea for a long time. Now we have to send Sabrina Carpenter. We're not sending our best.
Yeah. The Canadians are not happy, though. They're
About
saying,
this?
Yeah, this is kind of the conclusion to Justin Trudeau's run of destroying his own country. I couldn't care less who Trudeau is dating. What bothers me is this guy ruins the lives of millions, pushed hatred towards a group of Canadians, was found guilty of violating Canadians' Charter of Rights. And he's out there living his best life like none of it matters anymore. I want accountability for what he did. Another one said Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry dating. He fought so hard for Canada. This piece of shit left. To all of you who voted the Liberals in, how you feeling now? He doesn't give a shit about Canada.
Wait, that sounds like they're saying that he fought so hard for Canada.
That was sarcastic.
Okay.
Another,
Okay.
actually, a fan of Trudeau said, this picture of Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau is floating around and causing right-wing Twitter to absolutely lose their minds. You know what to do, folks. Spread it everywhere. They can't stand to see him happy and having fun.
Okay.
They can't
Well,
stand to
look,
see
you shouldn't be
a
losing.
former prime minister winning.
You shouldn't be losing your mind because Justin Trudeau is, having fun.
I truly never understood the women thirsting after him. Like, that was a huge thing. They thought he was like the JFK of Canada.
Wait, so is that like how they're supposed to treat Gavin Newsom now
Yeah.
here in America?
No,
Okay.
exactly.
Like literally the pickings are so slim that they're like, okay, we'll take anything that's not fat
Right.
and or like ancient,
Right, exactly.
basically.
If he's not basically on his deathbed
Yeah.
and like you know, has a winning smile.
Who was the one that was giving the interview and they were like, what's your favorite your favorite Taylor Swift song? He's like, I don't know, all of them. Was that Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, it was Gavin
Okay,
Newsom.
like
he pretended to be a Swiftie.
I wonder if
thought he could get away with that.
I wonder if the same thing happens to like Justin Trudeau. If she's
No,
like, oh,
no.
what's your favorite? No, I'm saying what's your favorite Katy Perry song? And he actually has like deep lore
Right.
of Katy. I mean, that checks out. Like, have you seen the dude sit? That checks
It's just,
out.
how does the woman who wrote You're So Gay end up with Justin Trudeau?
Yeah, but that song is now considered like sacrilege, right? Like
You're
she
so
doesn't-
gay and you don't even like boys.
Like that's that, but does she still perform that
She's
song? I'm
talking
guessing she
shit
doesn't
about
even
his
perform that song.
H&M scarf. I mean, she was such an icon. What happened to her? She just looks like a husk of her former self. You can look in her eyes and there's just nothing there. She looks lobotomized.
2009 was a long time ago.
She's just not who she once was. She lost her spark. She lost her firework.
I'm telling you,
Really?
2009 was so long ago that you can't recapture that magic. As we've seen with the cringy tour videos of her doing lightsaber duels and trying to slide on the floor and coming to a stop. It's kind of only rivaled by that video of like Madonna like needing to be helped up on stage because she's so old.
People are really stretching the truth here, drawing comparisons between this couple and Caesar and Cleopatra,
Oh, come on.
Marilyn Monroe and JFK.
Okay, come on.
This is the only one. Cory Booker and Rosario Dawson. Okay.
That one at least kind of makes
Kinda
sense.
similar.
Like, but they broke up years ago, right?
Trudeau has to be actually an anti-Swiftie now because Katy Perry has a long-standing feud.
He's
with
now
Taylor.
officially like a Taylor Swift op.
Yeah.
Like
He has
he
to.
can't go to the concert
If
anymore.
loyalty means anything to
Like
him.
the only cool version of this is like to prevent Taylor Swift from like selling out venues. She started dating him while he was still prime minister, so that he could like put some type of bullshit in place to prevent her. They're like, oh, sorry, zoning rules means you can't sell this many seats. Oh, you're not the highest ticket sales of the. You're not the highest seller of tickets of the year. It's going to go to Katy Perry, except that's never going to happen.
I mean, it is kind of shitty that he just flooded his country with foreign immigrants and then he's probably going to jet over to California and become a permanent resident of the US.
I mean, like that's politics as a whole, right? Like the people that support him aren't even going to notice that there's a difference anyways.
Also, Katy Perry is the right winger in their
Yeah,
relationship.
Karen Bass versus Rick Caruso. She's like Rick Caruso, the pro-business guy.
Yeah.
Like she's going to start teaching him about capitalism.
Maybe
and
Katy is going to red pill Trudeau.
she's going to be like, look, honey, you have to understand. Like, look, I know you've been in government for 20 years, but capitalism is about providing value to society, and then you can charge what you want for whatever value you provide. He's like, I don't know about all that.
He's learning about California girls. Yeah. They're undeniable.
Okay.
So Kris Jenner is just a month away, I believe, from turning 70 years old. And she appears to be aging in reverse. She's Benjamin Buttoning, as they all do in the Kardashian family and Hollywood as a whole. She appears to have gotten that special facelift surgery where they don't lift your skin. They go in and they lift every individual muscle in your face. I'll just say Pop Crave knew what they were doing when they posted this picture of Kris Jenner and captioned it, Kris Jenner shows off blonde hair in newly shared photo. And Pop Base as well. Kris Jenner shares blonde look.
The top comment says the surgeon put his foot on the back of her head and pulled.
They knew what they were doing,
Yeah.
okay? Because no one in this comment section is paying
Talking
any
about her
attention to her hair color. She looks like, I mean, she basically looks like Kim in this photo. I wouldn't have believed it was Kim, but like on first glance, maybe if I were squinting and tilting my head a little bit, she pretty much looks the same age as her daughters. That's the weird thing about this family. Someone pointed out, I'm curious on a psychological and philosophical level about if looking like this at the age of 70 improves your quality of life or instead gives you mortality psychosis. That's a good question, because I think it can really mess with your sense of time and your sense of self to look in the mirror at the age of 70 and see a woman at the age of 40.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a true sense of
Death then
the amount of
sneaks up.
time you have left on this earth.
Death sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it can really mess with your brain.
Well, I always like the explanation that I used to hear. It's like people not talking about the Kris Jenners who can afford the surgeries, but like the average person, you don't age in like you don't age even. You age in increments. Like you look the same for 10 years and then you age 5 years all at once. In a lot of ways, but if you're constantly preventing those 5 years from happening, because every 5 years, you know, you have a doctor pull back like your plastic bag and just yank it, you know, yank your skin closed. Nothing you can do about it, but it probably does in a lot of ways. And depending on how busy they are and how well they take care of themselves, and you've got a lot of energy. But see like the videos of like Dick Van Dyke at like on the red carpet. He's like 100 years old, and he's like moving around better than somebody in their 50s. Like eventually that guy's he's gonna die, and people are gonna be like, he had all the energy in the world right up until the end.
Probably because he wasn't raised on seed oils.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the
He was making jokes about
the red dye 40.
He was joking about not making it to 100.
Yeah.
He was like, it would be funny if I just died before hitting 100 years
Well,
old.
that's what they said about Bob Barker. He died at 99. They're like, bro called it quits right before $1.
Yeah. There's just nothing normal or healthy or sane about a society where a 70-year-old woman can look like this.
I mean, we didn't talk about it, but there was those pictures going around of Hillary Clinton when she was in her 20s looking like, well, they were saying Sydney Sweeney, but you say Sabrina Carpenter.
Way more like Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter isn't,
makeup.
but Sabrina Carpenter isn't going to look like Hillary Clinton when she gets to be Hillary Clinton's age.
No, I shudder to think what Sabrina is going to look like at that age. Yep. Another response said, maybe the holy trinity of unnatural aesthetics, when you're seeing the mother, the daughter, and the Holy Spirit of the plastic surgeon in one photo.
Yep.
And a lot of people are talking about how this isn't purely explained by plastic surgery. There has to be something else at play here. There has to be witchcraft. And I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I know that all of these celebrities do dabble in witchcraft. She was also compared to Martha Stewart, who is 84, and I wouldn't say she looks like a spring chicken, but she definitely doesn't look 84. I would say she looks like she's in her 50s, which is quite incredible.
Look, the insider trading keeps you young.
However, Kris Jenner's representative weighed in and gave a statement on the recent photo, saying, Dr. Stephen Levine did Kris Jenner's recent work. No further comment. They did admit that she got work done, obviously. She has a regular level of upkeep. She has gotten facelifts before over the years, and this photo is being said to represent the real Kris Jenner, how she looks without the filters, without the lighting, the
Look who's
Photoshop.
next to her. It's Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. And
right before he hit the tree.
They're saying this is what her facelift looks like in real life without the filters. But then you look at this video and this is her in motion.
Yeah, but there's still like studio lights.
The lighting is good, but I mean, there's nothing that explains a 70-year-old woman's neck looking like that. Other than extreme work being done.
Kristi Noem needs to get this for her hands.
And at the same time, I believe this was coordinated, Kim Kardashian stepped out with her mother's iconic pixie cut, trying to cosplay as her mom. And then there was this photo that surfaced, I believe it's AI generated, of the current Kris and the current Kim standing next to each other. It's not real, but it might as well be.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they look not 10 years apart in age at this point.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the goal.
Yeah, but I wonder if is it the older you get, the less it sticks? Like at 70, she's going to have the work done more frequently because time marches on and hits you at faster and faster intervals.
I suppose.
Right?
I don't know. Is it that they look good on the outside, but on the inside they're breaking down and decaying?
It is one of those things, right? It's like, oh, she looks great, but then she gets up and she goes, ugh.
The meme is you're not ugly, just poor.
Yeah.
But then you look at any like video of Kylie Jenner, who is she's only in her late 20s at this point. She looks like she's in her 40s.
I mean, she does makeup to look like a 40-year-old.
Kind of the whole goal is to freeze yourself in time. It doesn't really matter what age you look like,
Just
as long as you stay that way.
one past for as long as possible.
Yeah.
I think that was always like, I was never able to put it into the right words, but that was always kind of what I meant. Like, it's okay if Millie Bobby Brown looks like she's 30 now, as long as she looks like she's 30 until she's 50.
For the next 30
For the
years.
next 30 years,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, oh my gosh, she aged so poorly in her early 20s, but then like she's going to hit 40 and nobody's going to remember that because they'll be like, look at Millie Bobby Brown. She hasn't aged a day.
Right.
It's 'cause
no
all the-
one in this family seems to know what age they are. It's irrelevant to them. There's a 12-year-old in the family who thinks that she should be dressing like a prostitute. And grandma looks like she's in her 40s. None of it makes sense, and it's not supposed to.
Well, and look, they're front-facing, camera-ready people, and I'm sure that being Kris Jenner didn't make it easy when all your daughters are basically thirst-trap demons. Like, that's their whole job,
Yeah.
right? Is to create a business model around thirst traps. So she was like, after she saw that video of Lindsay Lohan, she's like, let me get in on that. Let me
Yeah.
find that doctor.
It's more sad in the case of Kylie specifically because she was allowed to start getting work done on her face when she was still a high schooler.
That's sad.
Like, she started getting lip filler and other procedures, I'm sure, done at that age.
Like, there's something sad about not being able to accept, like, at a certain point, like I get it, but it's like 70 is 70, bro. You're like,
Yeah.
you're way past the midlife crisis point here. This isn't even like the mommy makeover that they talk about. This is the
This is the
grand
granny
mommy
makeover.
the grand mommy makeover. It's kind of sad.
And I just think that should be illegal. I don't think that parents should be allowed to sign off on pretty much anything. I don't think they should be allowed to sign off on tattoos or any cosmetic procedures for their kids. Bella Hadid got her first plastic surgery procedure at the age of, I believe, 14. She got a rhinoplasty. That should not be legal.
No.
With parental consent or not, that should not be legal.
No. So it's sad, and learn to love the skin that you're in. And also, there's like, for the pores, for the rest of us, there's a lot you can do for yourself to make yourself feel better about how you look. That's just like not even necessarily how you look, but how you feel, meaning like the weight won't always come off easy per se, but like exercising a good amount, taking care of yourself in the best way possible, eating right, all help in those things. Like, to me, like, I get a lot of exercise, but most of the exercise I get it doesn't offset the horrible diet. Right? Like, the joke is always like, and that's not a joke. The idea is like, you can't outrun a bad diet, but people don't take that to heart. And most of what we see today is society looking for the quicker fix, but the quick fix doesn't necessarily help how you feel about yourself. Like, I guess it could. Like, she looks in the mirror and she feels good about herself, but you didn't put in the work to do that, because what she's looking for can't be worked towards. It has to be done surgically. Whereas if you're somebody who's like a little bit bigger and you put in the work to lose weight, that affects your whole outlook on yourself. And I imagine when you surrender that ability to a doctor, it's a lot harder for the good feeling to come with it, or at least in any sustainable way where it feels like it.
Starting to look the same.
Yeah.
They're all getting these giant veneers. They're all getting on Ozempic. Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato, they're starting to like morph into the same face.
I wonder if it was partially for what's her name? For Selena Gomez, because she got married. She's like, I
have to be on Ozempic for my wedding.
for the wedding. And now afterwards, she's just going to blow back up.
And everyone is going to say it's lupus.
All right. Let's move on then. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's start with cute.
Okay, we will do that. Here we go. Find it here. Get rid of that. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to save that one for tomorrow.
Okay.
Actually, we'll save that one for Thursday.
Here's
Here's an
the good stuff.
Here's an interesting one. Gargoyle the gecko. Is it George? Originally thought she was a he. She lays eggs without a mate. My YouTube has a video of her eating fruit paste.
Can you eat gecko eggs for breakfast?
Don't
is that
do
a
it.
thing?
Says this is from Ellen Thompson. Says she's very friendly. Looks friendly.
I could be wrong, but I feel like we've gotten a gecko on Cute of the Day before. It
think
might
so.
be this one.
It might have been the same one.
And like, no offense, I don't find geckos cute.
We were skating this ledge on Sunday, and like right at the landing, there was a dead snake.
Oh.
It's just like, okay, that's high on the list of like unrealistic fears.
Are you afraid of snakes?
No. But like the idea that like you're there, like, oh, what is it? Oh, keep that thing away from me.
Nasty.
All right, cringe of the day. Okay, how bad is this one?
It's not terrible.
Okay. All right, here we go.
This is
I've
Cameron
been to the
Diaz.
Philippines, but I grew up with a lot of Filipinos.
Really?
Yes. My best friend that I grew up next door to
Is that what they call code switching?
Yeah.
was her mother was from the Philippines.
The Philippines?
Yeah. And lumpia, adobo.
Okay. You know, life was different back when, you know, you were just doing these regional interviews and you didn't have to worry about it ending up on the internet.
Yeah, it was actually Cameron Diaz herself talking about how celebrity changed once people had cell phones, not smartphones, just cell phones, that they could take a picture of you on, you know, a flip phone when you're in a different country. They were talking about it amongst each other in Hollywood, like, this is going to change everything, and we're scared.
Yeah, nothing's the same anymore. It's like, no wonder nobody ever feels entirely comfortable in like who they are at any given moment. Because like, I still think one of the worst things you can do is like film somebody without their knowledge, like in public.
It's not breaking the law.
It's not about that. It's
Yeah.
So. All right.
Fine to record someone with my smart glasses because I'm not breaking the law, obviously.
All right. Let's get started.
So Christopher Nolan is directing The Odyssey, which is set to release in summer of 2026, and it has a stacked cast. What we know so far from certain reports in Greek media is that, of course, Matt Damon is starring as Odysseus. They have Tom Holland playing his son Telemachus, and Zendaya playing Athena, Charlize Theron as Circe, Anne Hathaway as Penelope, Benny Safdie playing Agamemnon, and Lupita Nyong'o as Clytemnestra. So the two that stand out, obviously, are the race swaps. Zendaya, of course, playing Athena, and Lupita Nyong'o playing Clytemnestra. She was mistakenly reported to be the one playing Athena, but I believe that's Zendaya, actually. And people are not happy with that casting decision. It's not just that one, though. Elliot Page is in the cast. It hasn't been disclosed yet what role Elliot Page is meant to play in the movie. Whatever it is going to be super distracting because everything about Elliot Page just gives people Uncanny Valley vibes. The voice and the post-op body of the former Ellen Page, who now identifies as a female to male transgender individual. And at a recent Comic-Con appearance in New York, Elliot Page was asked about taking on this role with Christopher Nolan following Inception. And she said that this was, you know, quite a liberating experience to work with this director again as her real self. It was selfishly, you know, more comfortable for her to be her real self on camera, I guess as a male character, although we don't know who it is yet.
I was so excited to be thought of for it and to be asked to come back to work with him. I loved working with him on Inception and loved being a part of that movie. So yeah, I was just completely jazzed and excited. And
is jazzed coming back as a term?
Maybe.
Basically went and met with Chris and talked about the part, and then sat in the room and read the script, and you know, it was of course a big yes. Yeah, sadly I can't say much, but yeah, it was such a joy to come back, and to come back now, as you can imagine, being more just comfortable in yourself makes these sorts of, you know, projects more enjoyable, just waking up every day and going to work. So to kind of get to have a Chris Nolan experience again now, that actually really just meant so much to me. Like, yeah, selfishly. Yeah.
They're shooting on these massive locations, IMAX cameras. We know that.
Did it kind of take your breath away, kind of just being in these environments?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got to go to some pretty awesome
This isn't some Netflix soundstage anymore.
places, and it's gonna be epic.
Okay.
I guess that's the only promising thing about the project thus far is that they've promised there's no CGI.
No green screen. Yep.
Yeah. But this is just like, don't you just love hearing Elliot Page talk about joy?
Yeah.
Like she can just never stop using that word and talking about how joyful and wonderful everything is. While her voice is literally shaking. Like she just seems so uncomfortable all the time, so viscerally uncomfortable.
There's a 20 there.
Let me see. From BMF Nate Dogg, is Medusa in the Odyssey? It's been a while since I read the Odyssey. Yeah. Don't remember.
I don't think that this is going to affect the movie as much. I don't.
I mean, it depends on how much screen time
her
character
depends
gets.
on it's going to depend on the trailers.
Yeah.
And for the most part, Nolan is one of those names that sells movie on his name, not necessarily the rest of the cast. I think if there is a director who's going to get the pass from people about race swaps, it's going to be Christopher Nolan, especially since it actually used to be like an inside joke amongst Hollywood that all he would cast is white people. Before, it's like he's making up for lost time to people in the industry. He's like, sorry for doing that all those years. I guess now I have to make Athena another race. And
really?
Yeah.
But people are just going to say, it's not a human character. It's a goddess, so it can be anything. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
And here's the thing. I'm sure he is already kind of projected to expect that backlash. And I think the spectacle of the movie alone and the hype around it, the way I always frame this stuff to myself is like, if I'm taking the objective route, is that when a movie has nothing else going for it, these conversations will take center stage. Like in lieu of something more interesting to discuss about it, that will happen. But if the reviews are good, if the trailers are good, people are going to be more forgiving. And those conversations will happen, but they won't gather the traction that they would if there was nothing else to discuss about the film. But, you know, depending on the size and spectacle of the production, like you said, no CGI, it's possible that it doesn't matter, and then it does fine.
Is it Nolan who doesn't let actors take bathroom breaks? I think I heard that from somebody.
Was that Nolan?
Somebody said, I think it was
so.
him, that he like doesn't let anyone pee.
And The Rock's over here like, I'll just pee in this bottle, it's fine.
Right, exactly.
See, that's what they should have gotten for this. The Rock should have played Athena.
Right, that would make more sense than anything. Can you imagine, like, you go in the men's restroom at like wherever they are, and like you're Matt Damon, you're at the urinal, and then Elliot Page pulls up and like stands at the urinal next to yours, and you're like trying not to stare, and you're just like, what's going on down there?
I have no idea what's going on. Look, I don't think that I personally don't think a lot of screen time is going to be given to Elliot Page in the trailer.
Because they haven't even announced which character it is. It's probably very minor.
And like I said last week, I am now Team Zendaya on all accounts, so she gets the pass.
This is one of Elliot Page's first projects since narrating a nature documentary about transgender wildlife.
Well, what is Elliot Page
looks
been
like
doing?
We're in for an Elliot Page renaissance.
What did Elliot Page do after it was, what is it, like the Umbrella Academy was like the last big thing?
I guess,
Was there something else in between
and
there?
they really let her commandeer that show.
Thank you.
In the middle of her transition process. Totally changed the character. Thank you, guys. They gender swapped her character
Just
in the show. They had the actual character become trans in the show.
Okay.
One of the replies said, is there anyone who genuinely looks at her and doesn't instinctively understand that this is a woman before any other thought connected to the story? Don't lie. Another one said, yeah, her appearance on screen is definitely not going to be super distracting and take everyone out of the historical drama. That's kind of the evident problem, if it weren't for the fact that this is probably just a very minor speaking role.
Yeah.
Still distracting and weird nonetheless. But what stood out to me really is just that, like, even in this panel interview, you can see she's like struggling to even deliver a sentence. her voice just like shaking. She's constantly at a loss for words and gesturing in a way that kind of hides her face. She just seems so viscerally uncomfortable with herself. One of the replies actually said, "I'm so happy for Elliot Page fully being able to enjoy acting, being his true self. Christopher Nolan casting Elliot in the Odyssey while Trump is out here trying to destroy beautiful diversity sends a powerful message. The impact this film is going to have will be enormous."
That's not true.
Great.
Like, I guess it depends on your definition of impact.
And here was a more middle of the road take. "Oh, F this. He is truly one of the worst effing actors of my generation. I thought he would maybe get better now that he is the person he was always meant to be, but he's just stayed effing awful."
The top comment says ethical trans hatred. But that's not trans hatred. That's just hatred for their acting.
The middle of the road take is glad Elliot Page is living his best life,
but maybe not in this movie.
Still a bad actor.
Yeah, I again, like I said, Christopher Nolan movies are a spectacle unto themselves, and I don't. And again, look at the size of that cast. They'll give plenty of attention to Zendaya. They'll give plenty of attention to Tom Holland. They'll give plenty of attention to Matt Damon and other such actors. And
I feel like in an ideal world, Jim Caviezel would be suited for the role of Odysseus, but instead we get Matt Damon.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel might be how old is Matt Damon's, like 55 or
they're about the same age.
They're about the same age. So,
and Tom Holland as Telemachus, like what?
Yeah, I don't know if this picture was real, but I saw this and it made me laugh. Like I'm guessing the costumes will look better well lit as they usually do.
It's giving Netflix.
I mean, they always do when you see them from like these types of photos. They never look good in that respect because they're not lit properly. They haven't done the post-production. It's a different thing when you actually see it in the finished setup. And Nolan movies always look beautiful. So we'll have to wait and see how this one turns out. But again, I think it'll be fine. Like I don't know
Elliot
if it's
Page is just like screaming from the rooftops, like, "I'm so happy, I'm so joyful."
And Christopher Nolan will be like, "Can we just focus on the movie, please? Like, let's just make the movie.
Yeah.
Let's keep the attention where it needs to be, which is on the film itself." All right.
Let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. We really need the Ghost Blend moved up to the front page of Cast Brew instead of halfway down the middle of page 2. I don't know. I heard different things from different people about that. Like, some people said it was on the homepage. Other people didn't. I don't know. Don't have control over that myself.
Yep.
Nightwing Rich said, "Happy Taco Tuesday. Brett, I just finished a rewatch of Dollhouse and started Person of Interest. I can't wait to properly meet Root, Amy Acker. Have you ever given the Stargate franchise a try?"
Well, first of all, before we get started, I'll say Person of Interest, House, what are the other ones? There you go. There's the two you'll get today.
Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods. All of them. Dollhouse is really, really good. That one's definitely due for a rewatch for me. Amy Acker shows up in season 1, but not a bunch, and then way more in season 2. So you'll see her towards her voice is heard, and it's not even really her voice in like the first season, like episode 13 or something, but then she'll show up in like the second to last episode of the season or the season finale, and then she's in the show for the rest of the show.
Greg Duvier said,
and I have not watched. I've watched SG1. Like at work, like Tim used to have SG1 on.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Not really my thing. A lot of actors in it that I really like, but that type of science fiction was just never my bag. I do keep wanting to start Battlestar Galactica, but I can never find.
Is that just because you want to be a hipster and continue your protest of Star Trek?
No. If I was going to do that, I'd be watching Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Like,
wow, I keep forgetting about that one.
Star Trek. Okay, normie. Like,
my dad was into Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica,
Stargate.
And Babylon 5.
Oh my gosh. Your dad,
not sure about Stargate though.
Your dad's the man. Your dad's like, give me all the science fiction.
Yeah.
Probably like Blade Runner too.
I never got into any of that though. He could never convince me. Greg Duvier said, "Where is the golden brown marshmallow option?" That's what I mean when I say warming the marshmallow, for clarity. If you're doing something other than setting it on fire, you pick the first option. Where are we at in the poll right now?
57% say they set the marshmallow on fire. A bunch of pyromaniacs.
I knew this would be polarizing.
It is. It's right. It's pretty close to the middle, especially with only 2 options.
Nah, you gotta set it on fire. It just adds to the flavor profile, okay? Not that Jon Stewart said, I intend to warm, but it usually ends up on fire. Well, not if you know what you're doing, you know?
Yeah. Do one more.
Pop Culture Junkie said, with Walt Disney World attendance tanking, seeing tons of new social media with near 0 followers pop up, all are lambasting Epic Universe. Disney black PR? I hope they get caught.
I mean, yeah.
So they're funding like bot accounts to talk shit about Epic Universe.
Would that shock you?
Instead of like making the experience of going to Disney not hell on earth, they would rather just talk shit about the competitors.
Who was the executive over at Warner Brothers that was like making interns write shit posts about?
Oh yeah, what was that guy's name? Casey Bloys.
Casey Bloys.
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 I forget.
Was like getting interns to write shit posts about stuff that he didn't like.
Well, it was about negative reviews for a show.
So that's believable, but Disney,
HBO?
but it was for like the shows that he made that
I forget which show that even was.
I think
so
it was.
irrelevant.
I think it was for like the Perry Mason remake or something like that. Or no, it was what was it like it was the not the Gotham spinoff, the one about Alfred, the one Pennyworth or something like that. The point being that if an executive at Warner Brothers will do that, you don't think Disney will pay for bots to be like, oh, Epic Universe, come to Disney.
They probably both suck in their own special ways. I don't know. I'm not a theme park person.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back. Let's move on.
All right. So back in April, it was announced that Disney put the kibosh on any development of their live-action reboot for Tangled. This originally came out as the animated movie in 2010 before everything went to shit, and they were developing a live-action adaptation. However, only 2 weeks, I believe, after the theatrical release of live-action Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler, Disney said, we're halting everything. They went into code red.
Until we figure out what the hell is going on.
Until we can figure out what the hell is going on. And it turns out that what the hell was going on is just that you need to cast the right person for the role.
Shocking.
First of all, someone who is not a nightmare to work with, a nightmare on their press run. And secondly, someone who actually looks like the character in question. Rachel Zegler was neither of those things. And admittedly, Rachel Zegler can't take all of the blame for the failure of Snow White. They did actually strongly reduce the marketing spend for the movie at the last minute before it came out.
Yeah, because they knew it was a foregone conclusion. There was no need to waste the money.
And they also kind of just let the media run with the narrative that it was her support for Palestine that people were boycotting the movie because of that. That's total BS. Like, it was always about her talking shit about the original story and her being an annoying feminist. It had nothing to do
general unpleasantness
with her being pro-Palestine. And it also, of course, was related to her statements about people who voted for Trump, saying, I hope that you never know peace.
It was like today, there was this comment from Martin Sheen, who played the president on West Wing, who's like, Trump needs to like learn to be a human. And I'm just like,
he needs to be a decent effing human.
I was like, bro.
So yeah, that was back in April that development was stopped indefinitely on the live action Tangled. And before that announcement was made, there were tons of rumors about who would be cast as Rapunzel in the movie. Lots of people vying for a South Asian actress specifically to play Rapunzel.
Wait, didn't they want it to be that girl?
Actress, whatever you prefer to call it.
Didn't they want the girl from
the girl who played
Girls?
race-swapped Karen in Mean Girls?
What was her name?
The musical.
She was like one of those. She got like a one-word name, like Madonna.
I forget her name. It's not relevant. They just, all they really cared about is Rapunzel being played by an Indian chick, and then Disney realized they needed to rethink their priorities and make money off of these movies. So they had to stop and regroup for a while. They're now reportedly walking back a lot of their DEI initiatives. They're kind of rewording things, so it's like DEI is actually for everyone now, including whiteys.
Yeah, they're lying as always. They're just hiding it, and it's being obfuscated more thoroughly.
This is the headline from Daily Mail. Disney is set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after dumping DEI. And Robbie Starbuck said, never forget that wokeness got so ridiculous that it's now actual news story that Disney is hiring a white actress for a white role after they lost $50 million plus casting a leftist Latina as Snow White. It was actually more than that. It was maybe even more than double
not very
50 million what they lost on it. If you add in the marketing budget, they probably lost upwards of $100 million on Snow White.
That's not very progressive either. I was told over the weekend on X, or at least I read that you're supposed to say Latine, which is supposedly the gender neutral.
I thought it was Latinx. Is it not Latinx
No,
anymore?
it's Latine, Latine.
I'm learning new things every day.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So that person is a bigot.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Disney is reportedly set to ditch its DEI-focused casting and hire a white actress for its latest live-action reboot as the company attempts to end its run of box office bombs. Now, specifically, I think they reanimated the live-action Tangled project after the massive success of the live-action Lilo and Stitch movie, which has made the most money of anything in the box office in 2025. You said at least until the next Avatar installment comes out.
Lilo and Stitch did really, really well. Minecraft did really, really well.
So they got too big for their britches, and they thought they could, like, you know.
Well, people were like, I saw this article the other day. They were talking about how Warner Brothers became the first studio of the year to reach $4 billion cumulative box office. Mm-hmm. And like, as if written by some propagandist at Disney, at the bottom of it, it had like an asterisk, and it said like, Disney will hit this mark with the release of Tron Legacy and Avatar. Well, Tron Legacy is a freaking wash. I don't know what you're talking about with that, but this was like a month ago that I read this. But yeah, Avatar will.
Tron Ares, rather.
What did I say? Tron Legacy. Yeah. Tron sucks.
Same difference.
Tron suck. That's what it is. That's so the point is like, it was written in this way that was supposed to be like, well, Disney's going to catch up to them this year.
Get their mojo back.
Yeah.
The poor box office showing for Snow White led Disney to shelve its plans to remake Rapunzel, fearing a woke rebrand of the blonde-haired character could repeat its dismal showing. But now the movie has been relaunched, fueling speculation over who could be cast to hinge the blockbuster's fortunes on. And you suggested McKenna Grace. A lot of people have floated her as an idea. But then I thought about it, and I was like, wow, she's really the only cute Gen Z white actress. Like, there's literally no one else.
There is precedent for her because, say what you want about Frozen Empire, but the whole of Ghostbusters Afterlife really did hinge on her. The most screen time. You've spent most of your time with her as a character, and she brought the charm to that movie that made the ending of the third act with the original actors actually work. In a Stranger Things world, she was at least the, because it had what's his name, Finn Wolfhard in it as well. But she was the one who carried that movie, and she's kind of evolving in Hollywood. And she, maybe she doesn't even want to do that. Maybe she doesn't want to be part of the Disney machine. But
I couldn't get past the fact that she looked strikingly like Ella Emhoff
she
in
does.
the movie.
She
and
does.
That weird scene that
at the time, I didn't even know who Ella Emhoff was. I just knew that there was the picture of her that said like Kamala Harris's stepdaughter looks like every character of Seinfeld put together. Yeah. And that always made me laugh. But she does in that movie.
Also, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a weird scene with like a bunch of jokes about a BDSM room in the Ghostbusters movie.
Was that in Frozen Empire?
In Frozen Empire. There was like a bunch of weird jokes being made about like a BDSM
was it Paul
chamber.
Rudd? Was it Paul Rudd saying it?
I don't remember if it involved the teenagers in that scene, but it was weird. Yeah. Didn't feel like it belonged in a family movie.
Doesn't discount her as a good as a good choice to play Rapunzel though.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be mad at that decision. Matthew Bologna at Puck News revealed that Disney executives told him the anti-woke shift within the company is now well known. He said in the article, Disney is about to cast a new Rapunzel, I'll bet you the price of that long braided wig that the gig will go to a white actress. And he stopped short of naming any names, but also it's been reported that Scarlett Johansson is being eyed to star as Mother Gothel in the movie.
It's a missed opportunity. Kathryn Hahn is right there.
I don't want ScarJo as Mother Gothel. And it's not anything against ScarJo. It's just the fact that Mother Gothel is supposed to be an ugly old hag, like...
Well, Kathryn Hahn is.
It's like casting Gal Gadot as the evil queen even makes more sense than that.
Yeah.
Look, Mother Gothel is not supposed to be this steamy, hot brunette with big tits. Okay, she's not. That's not Mother Gothel. Okay,
so who would you cast?
Doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. Kathryn Hahn would be perfect.
Kathryn Hahn is like the go-to now in Hollywood because she, in a lot of ways, she's not ugly. She's conventionally attractive. She's just older than a lot of the younger Hollywood actresses, but she's got such unique and biting charisma that it seems like a role like that is almost made for her. Should have cast her as the evil queen.
Well, I at least understood picking a conventionally attractive actress for the evil queen because, in the animated Snow White, she is conventionally beautiful. She just wants to be more beautiful than Snow White. They also add, following the election and DEI crackdowns, Disney joined a number of major studios who scaled back or eradicated their DEI departments. Matthew Bologna at Puck reported that Disney staffers told him the company's top HR executive, Sonia Coleman, sent a company-wide email last week informing workers that DEI was no more. Coleman said that the DEI department was now rebranded as Opportunity and Inclusion, which was meant to empower all through access, opportunity, and a culture of belonging, which I guess means like white people are included now. I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, honestly, sidestep
the movie
that.
Needs to be made of like the white guy going into that office and asking for opportunity.
Yeah, where's my access? And then they also mentioned that Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery have publicly announced ending DEI initiatives. Is that true? I didn't see that.
Yes, but like I said, most of them reorganize these under different names in different divisions. It's
so what's Bridge?
Bridge is like the successor to that.
Hold on,
you can look it up. It's there's whole channels that cover this stuff. They're not getting rid of these types of programs. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is built into the middle management system at these Fortune 500 companies, a lot of which get their funding, or they get a lot of support from companies like BlackRock, companies like State Street and Vanguard, which are heavy and put a lot of emphasis on the importance of equity programs.
I'm looking at this. It says something about Bridge. Okay, wait. So it's about IMAX.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's not that. No.
No?
It's Bridge.
It's like a newer thing?
Bridge is just DEI rebranded.
Is it an acronym?
I don't know if it's an acronym. Probably.
DEI Group Bridge boosts. Wait, what? This is so confusing. It seems like it should be an acronym.
The point being that, the name DEI is what people have become averse to. But equity programs, most people don't even know what equity means.
Okay. So Bridge is an acronym for belonging, representation, inclusion, diversity. The G is the gap, and the E is for equity.
So it doesn't matter because equity programs are what matter.
Bridge is an independent, action-oriented, purpose-driven DEI trade group for the global marketing industry. They say their mission is to move the narrative of DEI from a philosophy to operationalizing inclusion as a business practice.
Yep.
This transforms DEI from the job of one to the job of all and removes its dependency on a function of opinions and beliefs and places its success squarely on patterns of behavior, policy, and processes integrated across the organization. Okay, so that's just a bunch of corporate slop
speak,
word salad. Interesting.
Yep.
I hadn't heard of that until
because the thing
today.
is like in 2 years, then nobody knows what they're talking about. When they said like we have a bridge program, most people are like, oh, okay, that sounds great, because the name doesn't have anything toxic to it the way DEI does.
They say it's a comprehensive DEI framework to help companies identify, deconstruct, and rethink their own structural gaps that contribute to inequities. This agenda includes multiple layers of standards, best practices, and interactive workshop sessions.
Yep.
This is incredibly sus. Says they've been sponsored now by Colgate, Sephora, and Campbell's. This is so weird.
Yep.
Okay.
The point
they just
being
came up
that-
with a new disguise, basically.
Look, they it doesn't matter because it is hilarious that now it is controversial that Rapunzel would be played by a white actress is somehow like something to report on.
Well, so they wanted an Indian actress specifically.
Avantika, that was her name.
Yes,
Avantika or
that is her
something
name.
like that.
They wanted her because it was something about how like their hair means a lot to them culturally, and like Rapunzel's hair obviously is a huge part of the story.
There's a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie says, a young McKenna Grace hit it out of the park in a charming film with Chris Evans where she plays a child prodigy being manipulated by her math whiz mother. Highly underrated. So she's Millie Bobby Brown got the career that McKenna Grace should have gotten.
And we can't forget to mention, of course, that they never once advocated for any of the princes or love interests in these stories to get race swapped. They want a white Prince Charming. They want the white prince in all of these movies because of a weird, fantasy about being the love object of the white man.
See, look at this here. Like this person, this is for that post where it says Tangled live action is in development, and somebody put this with Scarlett Johansson, and then somebody goes, nah.
It has to be her.
There you go.
It has to be Catherine
Just
Hahn.
do Catherine Hahn. Makes more sense.
Let's read some super chats.
Let's do it.
Boosted Yogi said, I have my own marshmallow trauma. When I was about 3 years old, my older sister flung her flaming marshmallow from across the campfire and it stuck to my cheek. Yes, it continued to burn while on my face. Your older sister's a menace.
Yeah.
What the hell? Are you scarred for life? That sounds incredibly traumatic.
You wouldn't last a day in the asylum I was raised in.
Damn. I was just scared of the hibachi, especially when like everyone at the table wanted. I was like hiding under the hibachi table, like I didn't want to see anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Look, they're making a train for the kids." Like, no, I don't want to see the train.
Like, leave me alone.
Because I know, like, I'm always the person who like something happens to. Like, if the fire gets out of control, it's gonna be me who ends up on fire.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to have any of that mess. Shane H. Wilder said, if you don't char the marshmallow, do you even like fun? No, you don't, obviously. If you pick warm the marshmallow, you're wrong, objectively.
Nah, she's wrong.
Grolgar said, keep Scientology away from the White House. Xenu bless.
Wait, is Alec
What?
Baldwin a Scientologist or something?
I'm
Or is John
confused.
Fetterman a Scientologist? I'm so confused right now.
Are there any Scientologists in the White House? I doubt
don't
that's
know.
ever happened.
I don't know. Look, I saw this story last week that was hilarious that I thought Mary would want to talk about. We never got to it, about these rumors that Tom Cruise was going to marry Ana de Armas in space. And there's just all these like unfounded reports about like how she's fully embraced Scientology. I'm like, I'm sure these are all lies, but it's hilarious.
He's gonna pass on, the Scientologist religion to her. She's gonna be the new celebrity Scientologist. He's obviously the most famous one, so he has to pass it down to somebody.
Let's do two more.
Rural Conservative said, finished harvesting soybeans yesterday. Thank you for keeping me company in the combine this week.
That's awesome.
You're welcome. Wait, are you spreading endocrine disrupting soybean oil to the population?
Gotta be careful with that.
I don't know if I can endorse this.
Yep.
The soy crisis.
Do
Greg
one more.
Duvier said, I was excited for the Odyssey, not so much anymore. Well, look, you were naive.
I mean, those announcements were made ages ago. Like a lot of those casting announcements aren't
Right.
anything new. If you were excited before, you should be excited still. And just wait for like the full trailer. There's only been a teaser. Teaser was fine. John Bernthal sounding like the Punisher while he's talking took me out of it a little bit. But,
I don't know. Thinking anyone in Hollywood even Christopher Nolan can pick up a story like the Odyssey and do it justice is naive in my opinion. I never thought that was going to be executed well.
We'll see. Like again,
we'll have to see.
like,
It's going to be like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
It's like an hour and 15 minutes.
I hope. I can only hope. It's like made for TV length.
Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back afterwards.
Okay. So over the weekend, I did see this trending. Oftentimes people draw comparisons between the old Pixar that we remember nostalgically, that we grew up with, and the new Pixar. And actually, even the new Pixar is the old Pixar. They're trying to correct course in-house right now, following the failure of several films, including especially Turning Red, which came out in 2022. This viral tweet compared a still of the family in The Incredibles, an iconic franchise, to the chosen family of Turning Red. A bunch of children in this awful Cal Arts style making exaggerated expressions compared to this wholesome white family smiling together. And they ask what happened to Pixar. It's pretty obvious what happened to Pixar.
So I won't give away too much, but we pre-recorded an episode of The Culture War for Friday, and Tom Bancroft, the guest who was on, he was taught, because he was like one of the original Cal Arts, like he was there at the beginning, and I was like, how's Cal Arts different now than it was then? He goes, well, it's not the same thing. Like it didn't carry a tenor about the, it didn't have a style in the same way. But it was very, very interesting to hear him talk about animation.
Well, a bigger problem with the Cal Arts style, aside from just how it looks, is that it's associated with a certain style of storytelling.
And that was kind of his point.
And the
like,
dialogue.
He worked for Disney in its heyday, and he's a religious man, and eventually left. He gives his own story. You'll hear it on that episode, so I won't give that away. But he animated Mushu and Mulan.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Nice. So one of the most viral responses to this question of what happened to Pixar is claimed white people not understanding Turning Red because it's about an inherently non-white experience, which really confused me because my impression of Turning Red, admittedly not having watched it myself, is that it was an allegory for a girl hitting puberty and getting her period. And her period in the movie is personified by this anthropomorphic, gigantic red panda that follows her around school. And I was like, okay, I guess puberty is an inherently non-white experience. I didn't know that. Thanks for the memo. But then I read further, and this person replied saying the idea that white people don't understand generational trauma and overprotective parents, I guess these are other themes in the movie, the original poster said they don't. White people don't ever experience generational trauma or strict parents. That's not a thing that white people understand.
Just look, these types of posts are designed to make you angry.
It's
to make
rage
people
bait.
angry.
It's rage bait.
And to rage bait.
But then it kind of opened up the opportunity to point out, is the experience of The Incredibles something that is an inherently white experience that non-white viewers can never understand? Is the concept of an intact family unit something that a black viewer, for instance, wouldn't understand because of their lived experience? Does this not represent them as a group?
Well, the problem is whatever, if everybody wants to go back and forth with their rage baiting to each other, is that the point is you should treat your viewers with a little bit more faith that they're going to be able to understand what you meant from your story without it having to be about someone's lived experience. I watch Batman, and having never been a billionaire nor a superhero, a vigilante, I can still identify with the themes of Batman. I can identify and understand why it's important to tell stories about trauma, the loss of family at a young age, what it does to a person who's driven to behave a certain way or envelop like a certain persona to combat something like a dangerous city. Like, those aren't themes that should be only only Jeff Bezos should be able to understand what it's like to be Batman. That's stupid, and it's ridiculous to pretend as if people are that way. But this is a conversation that comes up every couple of months when people want to fight about it on X. But that's because people for the last 10 to 15 years made identity such a center point and such a central focus of so much storytelling.
There's so many intellectually dishonest responses to the conversation about representation, because they're like, oh, me feeling represented by Monsters Inc. because I'm a monster working at a monster factory. Like, obviously there are elements to the story that are relatable to humans. That's the point of it isn't how they look. That's kind of what we're getting at. But okay, according to,
like, if that was true, the
synopsis,
Kardashians wouldn't be as popular as they are, because like, you, I, nor probably anybody in this chat has anything in common with the Kardashians or their lived experience, yet people tune in droves to watch the dysfunction.
In Turning Red, Mei Lee, the protagonist, is a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. And as if changes to her interests, relationships, and body weren't enough, whenever she gets too excited, which for a teenager is practically always, she poofs into a giant red panda. They say that toward the end of the movie, the huge, like, end to this girl's character arc is that she twerks at her mother in defiance. She twerks to eschew the overprotective, her overprotective mother's authority. She twerks at her.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. And it's also reportedly about themes of puberty, shame, racism, and belonging, being that the protagonist is Asian.
So again, puberty is something that everybody can understand. What were the other ones? Belonging,
shame, racism, and belonging.
So pretty much all of those are universal, unless you take the idea of the annoying elitist ivory tower definition of racism, which is that somebody like you or I can't experience it because we're white and we, I guess, have the institutional power
because
that I have none of.
Zoran Mamdani came to school with smelly lunch, and people made fun of him for eating his smelly lunch with his hands. And
but
that's racist.
But everything else in that list are concepts that everybody can understand.
So back in 2022, it was a very different time, and this
really
was a story that kind of got memory hold. A reviewer for Turning Red named Sean O'Connell became the target of internet fury after this is what he had to say about the movie. Some Pixar films are made for a universal audience. Turning Red is not. The target audience for this one feels very specific and very narrow. If you're in it, this might work well for you. I am not in it. This was exhausting. By rooting Turning Red very specifically in the Asian community of Toronto. The film legitimately feels like it was made for Domei Shi, the director's, friends and immediate family members, which is fine, but a tad limiting in its scope. The most measured take he could possibly offer that doesn't just baselessly glaze the movie for breaking glass ceilings, which it was, praised at the time by, you know, the New York Times for the first Asian director of an animated Pixar film. That was like a huge deal. That was like this first Asian female director of a Pixar movie.
Either society has changed in movies like Crazy Rich Asians, which did extremely well and were lauded by both fans and critics, happened, and that's the reality we live in now, or nothing's changed and I imagined that movie and it never happened.
Well, as it stands currently, Turning Red has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, but only 67% from the audience. But Sean O'Connell's very middle-of-the-road take, basically just admitting that this movie isn't made for him, prompted headlines like this: "Critics be warned, Turning Red is defiantly Asian and female, and there's more to come." Some commentators belonging to the prime demographic find they're unable to appreciate its non-male, non-white protagonists. And another that said white reviewers don't need to see themselves in Pixar's Turning Red. And Eventually, of course, because this was back in 2022, it was like a different country, Sean O'Connell responded to all of this backlash he was receiving with an apology.
Of course.
He said, "I'm genuinely sorry for my Turning Red review. Thank you to everyone who has reached out with criticism, no matter how harsh. It is clear that I didn't engage nearly enough with the movie, nor did I explain my point of view well at all. I really appreciate your feedback."
He explained it just fine. It's just that they didn't like what his explanation said.
They were just like, "It's not for you, you pasty white man."
Yep.
But, you know, I think it's evident from at least, unconfirmed reports behind the scenes that Pixar is trying to correct how they tell stories. And they realized that they made several missteps.
Well, they've been in free fall since John Lasseter left.
Their recent success was Inside Out 2, obviously. But they need to compound on that and stop making stories for decidedly a very, very small portion of the demographic they're targeting.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, storytelling as a whole is like should be getting away from those. Look, at least on the big screen, right? Those movies actually do perfectly well. Maybe not as a Pixar animated movie, but telling that type of story as a mid-budget movie that's not expected to make $1 billion, like hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office is perfectly fine. People say that Hollywood has no new ideas. That's actually not true. Hollywood puts out tons of new movies and new ideas every year. It's just that nobody goes to see them. There was some Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell movie that came out like a month ago that I actually thought it was like a romantic fantasy film. And it looked mildly interesting. It got bad reviews.
It had beautiful in the
It's like
title.
a something beautiful journey or something like that. Hollywood tries new stuff all the time. Nobody goes to see it. The difference is people want some type of large scale change in the type of blockbuster movies they make. But when they do that, nobody goes to see them.
Well, Disney just
look. Sinners did extremely well this year. I'm guessing that in America, most people didn't necessarily identify with the characters in Sinners, but that didn't mean the movie wasn't successful because Ryan Coogler knows how to tell a story.
I wanted to mention that it was reported a few days ago Disney acquired the rights to an IP called Impossible Creatures. I think it's based on a novel by Catherine Rundell, and they're going to adapt these books into a series, I believe.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, I think last week that they reported that they won an auction to acquire the rights to Impossible Creatures. So they're taking a bet on this, and they're trying to like at least acquire original IP that can then be recycled into derivative slop for decades to come.
Look, this movie came out the same year as Lightyear, and nobody liked that movie either.
I think maybe a lot of these studios are learning from the success of K-pop Demon Hunters.
I mean, that's the point I made when I did the Q&A episode of this. I said, like, eventually they will realize that the superhero movies are out. It's going to be video game adaptations when they're done well. Anime and manga is going to be how they make their money again in the future. But it's going to be a slow process. And look, nobody wants the live action versions of this stuff. Like, they just don't. One Piece is like the one exception where people really like that live action One Piece series on Netflix. I think I just saw like an advertisement for season 2, but that's the exception and not the rule. And the reason they like anime is that it has a distinctly non-Western style of storytelling that will just be infected into whatever they make here in America anyways. Like, copying the art style doesn't make it what people like about it.
Well, isn't K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm not sure if this is true, but I think I heard that it's like the most popular movie in Netflix history.
Yep.
Which is insane. I thought it was Knives Out.
No, it passed what was the one that was ahead of it? I forget what it was.
Might have been something that they licensed.
It might have been. I don't remember which one. No, it was. It was a Netflix movie that was number one. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, it's the most It's the most viewed thing on Netflix ever. So
pretty cool.
Sony is still upset about that one. All right,
let's
go
finish
to
up
Superchats.
the Super Chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Sad news, Jim Caviezel has been replaced by Jocko Otonen, not sure how to pronounce that, in The Resurrection of the Christ. Mel Gibson said it was too expensive to, don't know what that word is, caviezel.
Like to hire him? Like I can't.
I thought he
imagine-
was confirmed for it already.
That's what I thought too.
You said something about like he might have pulled out because of the physical toll it would take on him.
Look,
but
he's
not elderly.
Yeah, but he got away from the stunts at the end of First of Interest because he was aging, and he had a hell of a time making Passion of the Christ because of the, he got like hit by lightning twice or something like that.
But
and
this is like
he got whipped, and it was like supposed to have the pad on his back, and the pad got knocked off, so he actually got whipped.
Was it a real?
I think it was a real whip. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just thought, okay, it's the resurrection movie. He's not going to be tortured in this film. So what stunts are we even gonna see here? Like, I don't know. That's unfortunate, though. I don't know anything about the actor that they hired.
I thought
to
he said
replace
Jocko
him.
Willink at first.
No. Yeah, it sounds like Scandinavian or something. That name. Jocko Otonen. I've never heard of him before.
Okay, we got a 20 there from the DJ Foy.
Reminds me of the meme of the soy jack crying about my representation, then a pic of Goku from Dragon Ball Z and Chads of all races saying he's totally me.
Yep.
Turning red targets Chinese females growing up in the West, fairly niche.
Yep.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not all that curious about their lived experience. I just don't care.
I mean, people wouldn't care about my lived experience either. I wouldn't blame them.
Shane H. Wilder said, into all these sci-fi space shows, Mary's dad sounds based. I guess I never mentioned that before, but
no,
yeah.
you hadn't.
He was super into shows like that. Kyle Dixon said, suggestion for Brett, watch a few X-Files episodes, appear on Inverted World, try and pass off the plots as legitimate events, see if Shane catches on, maybe even substitute Mulder for Patel.
Well, no, it would be Mulder.
Would you fall for it?
It would be Mulder for Mitch Pileggi's character because, it wouldn't be because Patel isn't an FBI agent; he's the head.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he more like a glorified spokesperson?
Who?
Patel.
I mean, it feels that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in Valhalla. Corey Anderson said, Mary, women are allowed to have big bazoongas. It is not a crime for characters to have those. I never said it was a crime for characters to have big bazoongas. I'm just saying Mother Gothel isn't a sex symbol. That kind of goes against the entire point of the character trope we're working with here. In every princess story, at least every princess story that Disney has adapted so far, there tends to be a character that is, an older woman, be it, the evil queen, the stepmother, the the witch. Like that trope in fairy tales isn't a hot brunette with big bazoongas. Okay, like that's kind of the point, is that she's siphoning energy off of the beauty of the young princess. Therefore, it makes no sense for Mother Gothel to be hot. Not trying to say that Catherine Hahn is ugly or anything. I'm just saying she's not seen as a sex symbol as Scarlett Johansson is. Robert said, Mary, I nominate you to play Rapunzel. Well, I'm too old to play Rapunzel, so...
Wait, like how old is Rapunzel in the story?
I don't remember how old she is in the Disney version.
Does that make you unk?
She's definitely a teenager in the movie.
Okay. Does that make you unk?
I think that makes me unk.
Oh no!
Because they have to use like at least an actress who's still in her early 20s, right?
Yeah. Who
maybe looks like a teenager. There just aren't that many to go around.
Yeah.
These days, which is weird. Pop Culture Junkie. Already read that one, sorry. Shane H. Wilder said, I still want Bro White starring Brett and Mary as the evil queen.
That could be good.
I'll take it. I wanted to play the evil queen in the Daily Wire Snow White, but
look, there is supposed to be a trailer for the Pendragon cycle very soon. We should react to it live.
Yeah, I think
it'd be funny if we got copyright struck and then
Thursday?
they took our channel down.
I think it's this Thursday, if I recall the teaser for the trailer.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. There was a trailer for the trailer.
Yeah. Trailer starts now.
I cannot stand that. I just feel like such an idiot. Like, we know you have the attention span of a goldfish, but the trailer's about to start. Just sit tight.
Yeah.
It'll only take 3 seconds. I feel very spoken down to. No Control said, corp equity never about CEO versus worker pay.
In relation to what?
Bob Iger isn't going to advocate for pay equity at Disney. That's just not going to happen.
No. I mean, that was kind of the point that I was always making, is like why politicians and CEOs aren't expected to be like normal people, because they're not expected to be fair. They're supposed to look at, when they're doing their job, a CEO should be looking after the growth and longevity of the company that he's been put in charge of, and the president should be looking after the well-being of the citizens of the country that he's in charge of. And a lot of times that means making hard decisions that the average person isn't going to be able to do. And one of those decisions for a CEO is not to pay everybody the exact same, because that's insane.
How much would Bob Iger have to make in his salary annually for everyone at Disney to make the same amount of money?
I don't know.
They'd probably all end up under the poverty line.
And
right?
most of what he gets, in most of what a lot of them get, is in their stock options anyways. It's not necessarily just in their salary.
What is Bob Iger's salary anyway?
It's a good question. You'll have to look it up.
I wonder if that's... Well, it has to be public, right?
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Says Bob Iger's total compensation for 2024 fiscal year was $41.1 million, representing a 30% increase from his $31.6 million in 2023.
Yeah, that's because he's been cutting divisions and leaning the company out.
His base, this is not his base salary. His base salary is $1 million.
Yeah.
But that, he gave himself a raise between 2023 and 2024.
Well, I mean, our politicians do that too. Congress does that.
Just by about 150K. Nothing, no big deal. Well, his stock awards amounted to 18.3 million. Yeah. No pay equity at Disney. Surinko Productions said Bridge is the LGBTQIA plus of DEI.
Thanks, I hate it. Let me off here.
Sounds about right. Everything has to be an acronym now.
Yep.
Brian Bledsoe said Madeline Klein for Rapunzel.
I think I said that.
I said she's a hoe. So
we can't have hoe Madeline.
We can't have hoe
Rapunzel.
No hoe Rapunzel. Absolutely not. No. That doesn't make any sense. She's supposed to be like innocent and pretty and cute, not an Instagram.
Not hoe.
Not a hoe. You know, there are plenty of roles for the Madeline Kleins of the world. Rural Conservative said, yes, Mary, but it's worth almost $10 a bushel. So you are behind the soyification of the American man. I knew it.
I support you out working and taking care of business and listening to our show. I love hearing those stories.
I didn't know we had many like farmers.
That's how I feel
audience.
Like when I'm coming into work and I'm listening to the podcasts or the channels that I listen to. I've been listening to James Romero. He's a wrestling YouTuber. I think he's the producer of other such channels like the Stevie Richards channel and Dutch Mantel, and hearing him talk about pro wrestling. So he is to me what we are to the rural conservative.
Guys, let us know what you are up to while you're listening to the show.
I would like to know.
Greg Duvier said, I didn't know the Odyssey was a thing until like 2 months ago. Yes, it was a teaser trailer. I heard of some controversy, but didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I will say that hearing John Bernthal do his John Bernthal voice when I'm expecting him to be like, oh.
Is it his Walking Dead voice?
I mean, he kind of has that voice, but that's like what he sounds like in the.
He plays one character.
The best meme was like when they announced that the Punisher was going to show up in Spider-Man, and there was like it's like Spider-Man disarms person, and then all of a sudden the guy just gets his head blown off. It says the Punisher, because he's always just shooting an automatic weapon while grunting loudly.
I want to know, do you mean that you had never even heard of the Odyssey? Like, Like the story?
I'm guessing they mean they didn't hear
The
about the
movie?
movie adaptation of it.
No Control said the trauma is 3 generations of single mothers. What trauma? Generational trauma that the whites don't understand, you mean? Yeah, I don't know. But it's about an Asian female, so I don't know. Shane H. Wilder said never apologize, especially for hating a crappy movie. The guy didn't even say anything like that negative about the movie.
It was very clinical and descriptive in the most inoffensive way possible.
He just said, like, this is for a niche audience, and I'm not part of that niche audience, but I guess if you're part of the niche audience, you might enjoy it.
But they literally say, like, Woody, doesn't matter. It wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't made for
The
me.
response of the entire internet at the time, which wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things, was F you, Dad. Because he's a white male. Shane H. Wilder said it was too expensive to de-age Caviezel, and it was a real whip. Wow, so he was actually getting scourged?
That's a bummer.
Kind of wild.
I hope they hire him to do something else on that movie. I always want to see Jim Caviezel working.
He doesn't look his age. He does look good for being in his like mid 50s, right?
I mean,
his late 50s.
I feel like he looks his age. Like,
is it the beard that's hiding it?
Yeah, like I
guess.
feel like he looks his age for the most part.
Man, I wanted to see Jim Caviezel in the sequel.
It would have been good.
Yeah. Drac said, normally I watch the VOD, but I wanted to ask, Bread, did you finish / what did you think of Hotel Costiera? The action was bad, but I think I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. The action was really, really bad. The worst part was like, okay, so, and again, these are just the nitpicks that I always have. He's carrying a gun, like, inside the waistband holster in the small of his back, but it's at, like, 4 o'clock. And it's just, it's butt of the gun facing out. So, it would have been extremely easy for somebody to just pull off him. Like, wasn't this guy in the Marines? Like, why is the grip, like, just me. And then the reveal at the end in the final episode was just kind of the bad guy was just not really all that at all. Just really wasn't. Like, the whole thing about, like, I was at your hotel when I was a kid and blah, blah, like, it was stupid. I don't want to give it away. But, like, the general, like, I didn't watch it for that 6th episode roundup of, like, the mystery of where the daughter had gone. I liked the individual cases in the prior episodes. So, you know, if you turn your brain off of that part, the first 5 episodes are good. But once it tries to flesh out that main storyline, it left a lot to be desired. But I think that the main actor, what's his name, Jesse Williams, he's charismatic enough. They didn't really spend enough time with the other characters to make you really, really like them. But you don't watch a show like that for the story. You're mainly just watching it to look at a bunch of people acting off the Amalfi Coast, and it's mostly there for the scenery. But Almost Paradise with Christian Kane is the far superior show, or even the first season of the Majorca Files, which got worse in season 2. But that's kind of like, I like those Amazon shows that, like, it feels like they don't spend any money on anything but just sending them to exotic locations to film. Like, good work if you can get it, right? It's like your agent's like, it's like, I got a show for you to like audition for. It's like, ugh. Bob, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like, I got my schedule's full. He's like, they're filming it in Greece. He's like, okay. Or they're filming it in Italy. Okay, let's do it.
That's a nice perk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pop Culture Junkie said it was just announced that Netflix is going to stream a selection of Spotify video podcasts starting in 2026.
Say it again?
Netflix is, they're going to host Spotify video podcasts.
Okay.
But Spotify already does that.
Yeah.
Wait, don't you have to end your, if you're like Joe Rogan, you'd have to end your contract with Spotify to take your podcast over to
He doesn't
Netflix.
have an exclusive podcast. He doesn't have an exclusive deal with Spotify anymore.
Oh.
Anyways, he's back on YouTube.
Who does?
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people that have licensing deals with them. Like,
I am not going to open the Spotify app to watch videos.
no, people
I'm
ask
not going
us.
to do that.
People ask us all the time about, like, doing a video. I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I watch YouTube videos for, like, I watch a channel called Forgotten History, and there's a lot of visuals to that channel, but they're like 30-minute videos at the longest. They're not like the 2-hour podcasts. I don't need to see just like if I'm watching the videos on YouTube like about that, like on Forgotten History, it's like they've got article headlines and motion graphics and all this stuff. But a podcast, it'd be just like a lot of camera switching back and forth between the guest and whoever's doing the interview. Like it's not necessary.
So if any of you like, you should follow us on Spotify if you don't already, obviously, and give us a rate and review. But if any of you listen to us on Spotify, tell us if you would prefer to see us on Spotify, because I feel like people never use the video player on Spotify. Maybe I'm just resistant to change, but
I don't know.
I do follow some podcasts on there that have video too, and I never use that feature because it's just kind of unnecessary in my opinion.
Okay, we got some Rumble rants here. I'm gonna read a couple of these.
Oh,
here.
we missed a bunch.
Okay, here we go. Pedro Two Guns says, "Mary, when K-cups?"
When K-cups? Does Cast Brew even sell K-cups?
I don't know. I like Olivia.
Not to my
Olivia at home
knowledge.
has like one of those like K-cups that you just like put the coffee in so that you can make it in your Keurig. But I don't know if they sell K-cups.
Yeah, I don't think that there are any on the website, to my knowledge. So
Grunmeister says, "This DEI BS is going to make me become an alcoholic." Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. At least that's more fun than traversing the DEI minefield. Don't do it.
I hope you're joking.
Yeah. Grunmeister also says, "Turning Red is a movie that requires alcohol."
It's what is it? Better with alcohol? How does the rating system go?
Good time, no alcohol required, and better if you're drunk. Those are two of Jeremy John's reviews.
I don't think I could watch a movie drunk. I don't think I'd be capable of paying attention.
Is this Gianki 123?
Not sure.
"My family and I like Turning Red. We are a white family. Brett and Mary should watch it and tell us how much you hate." Look, there's every possibility that if I'm watching the movie, I'm going to end up being like, you know what? Wasn't that bad.
I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I don't like the art style, so I'm already biased.
They're saying there are K-cups.
There are?
In the chat, Sir Hippie says there's a bunch of K-cups. Okay.
Well, I guess you guys are just going to have to keep buying more and more of Mary's Ghost Blend to promote that decision.
Like, I swear, like, most of the time I go to the movies and I end up liking them. So it's like I can't even pretend like I'm going to watch Turning Red and hate it. I'd be like, oh, you know, it was fine.
I didn't like the first Inside Out because I think we shouldn't be teaching kids about mental health, and we shouldn't teach kids to, like, psychoanalyze themselves. I don't think that we should personify our emotions and give kids the idea that they have voices in their head. It just seemed like an incredibly solipsistic theme for a movie.
It's like the case du jour in Hollywood. I wrote a long, like, annoyed post on Instagram, not even on X, the other day, about how I had to turn off NCIS Tony and Ziva because it's got Ziva in therapy. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, seriously? Like the Mossad assassin is in therapy and talking about triggers, and
I bet there are Mossad assassins that go to therapy.
Okay, fine. None of them belong on television, and it's not a story that needs to be told.
What is she talking about in therapy?
Like about like the trauma of her relationship with her daughter, and obviously her father being the head of Mossad and raising her to be a ruthless murderer. But the thing is, that was never part of the character before in the show, because the whole point of her character was to flirt with another character and make dorky boomer jokes that boomers will laugh at and then go on about your day. And they're trying to be deep, and it's the least interesting thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And it takes away any semblance of fun.
We have to make it dark and gritty.
Yeah, and they're swearing, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, I don't want to, like, if your character is a cop on TV, they should be resistant to therapy. Like, that's the trope, and it should still be that way. It's like, I don't need therapy, I'm fine. I don't want to see them be like, yes, I want to go to therapy to solve my problems. I want them to literally work themselves to the brink of destruction because they're unwilling to deal with their personal problems. You are not The Sopranos. You do not know how to write like The Sopranos. And it was novel in 1997 or whenever that show was, at like the early 2000s, whenever that show debuted. It was novel at the idea of like a mobster in therapy. It's not novel anymore. They're just self-inserting themselves because Hollywood loves therapy. Therefore, other people that never talked about it are suddenly talking about
They
it.
should just suppress everything.
Again, suffer alone in silence and die young. That's what...
Brett Dasovic, 2023, 2024, and 2025.
It's more interesting.
It's
all
good
I'm
advice.
saying.
Unironically.
Let me rephrase. Television characters should suffer in silence and die young because it's more interesting. Like here's the thing.
remember that caveat.
If you are the writer of the show, what you need to start doing is like stop having hubris. Assume you're not good enough to write therapy in an interesting way because you're not.
Well, they say write what you know, and all of these people
No,
go to therapy.
all they know is therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess they just think it's an easy way to do exposition, right?
yeah.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah. Well, also it gives you a way of like without using voiceover of
Yeah.
like reintroducing themes from the episode. Well, guess what? You ain't clever. You ain't slick.
Can't they
Miss me
just
with
like
that
be on a
nonsense.
phone call with a friend or something? I don't know.
I mean, that would have been better, right? I mean, I don't know if just none of this stuff. Like
We need emotionally unavailable, repressed law enforcement.
Like somebody says stoic is fuck. No, she shouldn't even be stoic. She's like, she giggles in the face of danger and struggle. And the more emotional you make her, the less interesting the character was, because the whole point was that it's an escape from reality. They see gruesome crime every day and they joke with one another. They pay lip service to, the violence that they've seen, but it doesn't take up that much of the show's themes. And that's doubled with the fact that then also the color palette is gray and drab and dark, and there's just nothing fun about it. And whoever greenlights these shows now frickin' sucks.
We're going to find them.
Yeah.
We're going to ruin their lives. Shane H. Wilder said, I'm waiting for the Medal of Freedom presentation to begin. I'm covering it from Texas, just staring at 2 camera shots while waiting for it to begin.
I wonder, wait, who are they presenting with the Medal of Freedom?
I don't know. Maybe we're not supposed to know. High Voltage 75 said, today is National Dessert Day. What is your go-to dessert choice? That is such a great question. What is it, Brett? Wait, let me guess. I think you just like candy. You don't like dessert, really. Right?
I should theoretically like dessert
The donut?
more. No. I like tiramisu.
Really?
Yeah. I don't get
That's
it
your
there.
number one choice?
It wouldn't be my number one choice. It would
I'm
probably be
surprised.
like, actually maybe. Like I grew to like cheesecake later in life. I never liked cheesecake
Same.
growing up. It was
Because
like
I was like, why is
it's
there
like,
cheese in
I
the
don't want
name?
cheese.
Ew.
Yeah. But then like I grew up and then I was okay with cheesecake.
I hated peanut butter until I was a teenager. I don't know why.
No, I'm like we go to like Sweet Frog all the time and get like frozen yogurt.
Is it froyo or tiramisu?
It's
then?
froyo with like, and then it's basically just candy toppings on top of
What's
froyo.
the flavor combo for you?
At Sweet Frog? So you get the cake batter yogurt, and then you put on the Twix, and you put on the Snickers, and you put on the Heath bar, and you just put like all the candy bar toppings on there.
So you don't do like a multiple flavor?
No, sometimes I'll mix
swirl?
it with vanilla or like chocolate and
Okay.
that. But for the most part, it's the cake batter flavor and then like a whole bunch of toppings. Where it's like the whole point is like the problem is like sweet candy I can eat like endlessly, and that's dangerous. Whereas chocolate is probably the better one because it's rich, and then you're like I can't eat any more of this.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
I've eaten a whole bag of Kit Kats before.
Well, no,
issue.
Oh, I forgot in the Kit Kat topping. on the Sweet
Yeah,
Frog?
yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think might be years at this point since I've had froyo. Like froyo really fell off. But I'm surprised to hear you say tiramisu because you're not into coffee.
No, I mean I drink cold coffee all the time
Yeah.
now, but that's
I had affogato the other day and it was really good.
I don't even know what that is.
So traditionally what it's supposed to be is like you have vanilla gelato, and then there's like a divot in the middle, and you pour espresso into the divot, and you eat them as like a combo.
Okay.
But you're not supposed to like stir it together.
It's
really
a good
like
point.
that.
Candy is not dessert. Like candy's
I
just
guess not.
Candy's just a vice.
It's not a prepared like part of a meal.
It's just a vice of mine, and I've done well to like look. I cut soda out like pretty much 2 years ago to the point like I didn't like say hard stop. I'm never drinking it again. But I've gotten to the point now where I have a couple of sips. I'm like, okay, that's too much, and that's good. That's good to like put it away afterwards. But then every once in a while, like there was like a Chucky Fanta that was like cherry, and I'm like, I have to get it just because of the thing. And I kept sipping it, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I kept sipping it.
Fanta. That's crazy work.
And well, they do like themed ones at like Halloween.
Yeah.
They did like the Beetlejuice one last year that was disgusting.
Right.
So every time I drink soda, I know where my desire for candy is. But the difference is I can't like overload on candy because I buy like one small like dollar store bag at a time. And if that's a day's worth of candy, that's not too much as opposed to soda, which I would drink way too much of. So, you know, it's worked in cutting out. Like I don't even drink like the water with the flavoring in it anymore. I just drink regular water.
Good for you.
But there was a time.
For my answer, it's not froyo. I think it's just like if I can get like a nice warm brownie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top.
Yeah.
Like I'm set. In fact, I pretty much always want a big steak with a brownie and vanilla ice cream for dessert.
Yep.
Like that's the perfect meal to me. That would be my last meal. It's like steak frites with a brownie and ice cream afterwards. If I'm getting froyo, I'm like always gonna get chocolate. I'm a chocolate person.
Yeah. I mean, I think chocolate with then all of the chocolate candy flavors on top would be too much. So for me, I would
get the brownie bites too.
Yep.
Like the cheesecake bits too, even though I have no idea what that is. It's probably not cheesecake.
But it's so good.
But it's good.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder said, update, the ceremony just started.
Okay.
Let us know who's
getting the medal.
Brian Bledsoe said, don't like well done steak or well done marshmallow. Two totally different topics.
I don't like well done steak, but I do prefer burgers more closer to well done. I don't want like a bloody cheeseburger.
I do.
No.
I get it rare every time, unless they tell me no.
No.
Sometimes they tell you no.
But steak, yeah, more than the
well
burger.
done steak is for psychos. But I will be having a well done marshmallow. Thank you very much. Those are just totally different conversations.
Yep.
For you to equivocate the two is insane. And as for, no one asked about this, but as for movie theater candy, has to be controversial. Raisinets. A lot of people think that's a candy for old people, but I stand by it. It's delicious. Not into like Werther's Originals or anything, but I do like Raisinets.
They make the Werther's with like the apple in the middle.
What?
Like yeah.
Apple?
Yeah, like actual like
There's an actual like bit of an apple in the middle? What do you mean? I'm so confused. And also like I'll get M&Ms at the movie theater, but I make sure that I color code them. I always color code my M&Ms. I separate them and I eat the red first, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, then brown, because it seems like the brown M&Ms are more chocolatey.
Werther's caramel apple filled.
That's
incredible.
Confusing. Is there apple in it?
It's like, yeah. I mean,
you actually like Werther's Originals, like you're not kidding.
We have those at home. Well, you don't have them right now, but we usually have those at home. Not only this kind though, not regular Werther's, but this kind here.
Do you also have fabric flowers on display?
Yes,
and
everywhere.
potpourri.
Olivia makes them with.
And those little strawberry candies that have strawberry wrappers.
We do have those
in a glass jar.
We do have those in a glass jar. We absolutely do. I know the secret dealer
so
where I know
coded.
I know the secret dealer that you go to get those, that your grandma would go to. You know
who's the guy?
You know, I can't tell you.
What's the hookup?
Look, I can tell you after the show. I can't tell you on air. I can't tell you on air. It would be I'd be betraying someone's trust to tell you my hookup on that. Like everybody's got the plug, but you know.
Shane H. Wilder said it's for Charlie Kirk. Oh,
okay.
I didn't know you could award those posthumously, but that's a good thing to hear. No Control said medium is better. Rare/medium. Rare is a social trend.
If we're talking steak, I do get medium rare.
I always get rare.
I get medium rare. I don't get medium with steak.
They should cook it for like 30 seconds or less for me. Then I'm good.
Ethan Miller in the chat says Olivia is actually 800 years old.
Yeah, it sounds like this is like grandma core household going on here.
Look, we love our old-fashioned candy. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. I think I saw one more over here on Rumble. John Key says favorite dessert, creme brulee. Seems too.
I don't know if I've tried that.
I think it's a little too expensive for me or too highbrow.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
All right.
I'll get like a chocolate lava cake any day.
Yeah, it sounds
like
good.
at any of the chain restaurants that have just like big box stores selling them, refrigerated chocolate lava cakes. I will be getting one.
I think for me the main thing is like I don't get dessert. I tend to just be like, no, I'm good because I know I'm gonna probably eat candy at home anyways. So best to not overdo it.
Nah, I'm a dessert person because I don't have candy in the house.
There you go. Well, you're the smarter person.
I have to make calculated decisions.
You are the smarter person. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you've not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the video, the live streams, all the segments out with everybody in your life that you know. It helps the channel out a lot. Where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X, that is also Mary Archived, and help me get TikTok famous, that is also Mary Archived. And of course, don't forget to grab yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend on castbrew.com.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can always rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is another way to help the channel out. If you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.